Hello, my name is Anthony Zay. I'm a woodworker, photographer, and designer. Really like making things. I build a lot for clients and such, and then I like to build my own little toys. I decided I wanted to build a horizontal slot mortising machine. I really like the Festool Domino, but that's like $1,000, and I just don't have $1,000 to spend on a piece of equipment like that. It's portable, which is nice. Obviously what I'm making here is not portable. It's definitely a shop-built tool to be used in the shop. This is based on the Gregory Paolini design. You can find it at his website, and also in Fine Woodworking, it was in their issue 174. Also, I have this book here, Shop Improvements, which are a bunch of just interesting tools and stuff you can build for your shop. And it's actually in this book too. On page 152 is where we had it. Let's see, kind of lost the page here. There we go. And so right there, that's this machine basically. I did some mods to it in order to function better for my needs. His version has where you can put the size up and down for the height of the router that's in the back. Through the website, the model he's got that he sells now, the ones that are in the magazine and in the book are actually a fixed height, so you can't adjust the height. So I actually just kind of made my own version. I did it off the ones in the magazine and the book, and then I created my own back, so I'm not sure exactly how he's got his. It's a little different from what I saw. And I also added a vacuum port, which I don't believe he's got on his. And it's not perfect, but it does help in getting up some of the dust and such. So next I'm going to just show you kind of how the piece works and using for creating these mortise and tenon joints. These are using Dominos, so I am using the Festool Dominoes to connect these. You can make your own tenons based on the slot you're cutting with the bit cutter. These are all metric, so you got to get metric bits. I can get you a source for those because they are hard to find. But once you do, these are great because it's easy to just buy the Dominos rather than having to sit there and mill and cut all your own tenons, which ends up being time consuming, and then it's kind of what the point, you know, because you're spending too much time in just making the tenons. This is a quick way. It's kind of like a super industrial strength biscuit in a way. So I will get into showing you a bit of how the mortising machine works. Okay, there's a number of elements to this machine. Essentially, we've got the base unit that slides back and forth in and out from the bit. That runs on a set of T-tracks. We've got another set of T-tracks with another unit that allows us side to side. So basically we have an XY movement here, and then our Z movement would be up and down, and that's adjustable from the back of this unit where the router is. It's just a Porter cable 691 router mount with the router. I've got a 8mm bit in there with it's got a 1/2-inch shank, so that'll do the cutting, which is just right for the Festool Dominoes. And Festool makes several different sizes. I believe they make a 4, a 6, an 8, and a 10mm. And I have, well, a 5mm bit, a 6, an 8, and a 10. So I could do the 6, 8, and 10mm size Dominos, which is great because they're really easy to get at most of your woodworking stores. Essentially, what you want to do is for setup on this, it's not really that hard. So how I set this unit up is first I want to figure out, I've already set the height of this, basically eyeballing it from the side, and then figuring out where it's going to slide in to connect to the center of this wood here. So based on the thickness of my wood, and I'll actually make blocks that I can drop underneath the unit in order to make it so I can simply find the same height each time. I haven't done that yet, but that's something I'm going to add to this easily. I have basically a center mark that I created on here. That's the center of this, so that way I can use that as a working situation of trying to figure out where my domino is going to be laid up. Now I can center that onto the center of the bit. Then using one of my dominoes, if I center that onto the unit here, then in order to set the width, I'm going to just bring in this block here right up to the edge of it, and that locks me in there. And I'm just going to use one of these back blocks for the time being in order to essentially get my width in. So now I've basically locked the tenon right in that little slot there. And I'm going to just slide that out of there. It's nice and snug. And actually, I like to just bring this in just a hair more so my tenons are nice and tight. So then what I can do is, if I loosen up the side-to-side motion, now this tells me what my travel of play is. I'm going to rotate the blade, or the bit rather, so the widest part is spread out. That way I can get an accurate read. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it to the right, and then bringing my right side in as a stop, then I know where that needs to stop. Move it to the left, same thing, the left side, and then stop it in. And then now I've got the width of my my cut. So I can take this back out and just slide that off, bring it back down here, and then put this stop back in place back here. And set that for the moment. Now for the depth, essentially you'll want to take half of the tenon. Now I'm about halfway there. So I've already kind of figured out my stops, but essentially, you know, if you've got those back, I can slide in, figure out where the midpoint of my tenon is against this little mini fence here. Then we'll go right about there, bring these in, and then lock these in. So now I've got my forward back all figured out, and then I can move this out of the way based on the thickness of my wood. Now I'm going to figure out my center point for my pieces here. I've got two pieces of wood already. You can see these. And these are where I'm going to put my tenons. And I already have a little mark here that I created. I want to run that mark down to the face so I can line it up. I'm just going to use my saddle square here. Makes it nice and easy so I can line everything up so everything becomes accurate. Bring that over there. This one over here. Actually, that's a little, that's a piece of wood. I'm just going to draw a line across and then saddle square it. Draw another line. So then I have the centers of where I want to basically do my mortise. Now, you want to make sure that wherever you're doing your mortise, that whatever side is matching up. Oh, there's my mark there. I want to make sure that these sides, that the top is to top, bottom is to bottom, so that way everything lines up the way you want it to, because you might not get the height exactly in the center. So that ensures that everything becomes completely flush. So these are my tops basically. If this is the good side, you might put it down. It depends on if you're going to have an offset, that kind of stuff. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just line up my line here, out of there, with my center line of my mortise top here, and then I can slide this in, and then slide my, and that locks it in place. And then I can take this also, this is for the other members, but I can just bring this in and lock it in, and that gives me a nice secure so I don't move left to right. I also have a block, just as a spacer block, in order to lock it down so it's not going anywhere. Now what I can do, if I'm going to do my cut, I'm just going to turn on the lever. Put that in, look, nice snug fit, doesn't shift, really nice. Now for the other piece, if we're bringing this one in, you know, you probably do all your end pieces first if you have a number of them. And then what I'm going to do is, excuse me, move this in. I'm going to take this over, get this one out of the way. You know, you might take that all the way off depending on your cuts. So I'm just going to line that up with my center again. We're going to bring this in. This is going to help stabilize this piece here. Bring that in again. We're going to turn on our router. Pull that out. Not cutting wood. And then from there to there. Didn't quite make it deep enough, so I brought my blocks up too much. So I'm just going to bring these blocks back a little bit. So, wasn't quite centered on that. A little bit less than centered on my thing there. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to come back and recut this. Basically get that centered back onto my piece there. Grab my block that I just lost. Oh, there we go. Put that down. Knock out any excess. And then again, there we go. And that's a nice, beautiful, there's no, you know, and then you just glue that together and you have a nice strong joint. So, really nice little shop-made machine. Took me about a day to build. Relatively easy to build. Basically, it's some ply. I've got birch ply and MDF, and then knobs. I think in the unit itself, it was about $65–70 to build. The bits were a bit more expensive at $120 for a set of 4 different metric bits. And then I already had the router and stuff, and then the base plate that's attached to the back of this. So if you have any questions, just drop me a line on the comments. I'll try to answer them best I can when I can get to them. And thanks for checking out. And I'll try to have some links on where to get the information on the build from Greg Paolini, where to get the bits, and even the T-tracks. I found a great source for them through a company called Orange Aluminum, which was like $35 with shipping to get 3/4 foot sections, which was plenty to build this with an 8-inch piece left over. So thanks for checking out my video.